Hey there, we're going to quickly walk through Arc Online system for uploading and styling data on this ArcGIS portal. So let's go ahead and add some data. This presumes you've already created an Esri account and that you've navigated to the map tab when you log in. And there's lots of ways you can add data to a map like this. Let's go ahead and add a layer from File. All right, and then we're going to navigate to our working folder. In this case, we don't want my work headshot photo. So let's navigate into our lab folder here. You should have a working folder on a flash drive or that you're looking temporarily on a lab computer. Here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and take this zip file that I've downloaded and go ahead and accept the default system here. It's going to go ahead and import the layer. It'll think about that for a second. And then you'll see it's going to load just a bland version of the data here. So we'll give it a second. Like I said, this can take a little while. It's a pretty easy system. Now remember, shape files are multiple files. So it's called a shape file, but it's actually 4 to 7 different files. So we keep it as a zip file so it's easy to upload as a single document. There's some folks who prefer other formats, some competing ones right now. There's one called Geog2011 that's a single file format, or there's another one called GeoPackage, which can also work pretty well. So here is our data, and Arc's trying to be smart here. It's trying to guess how we want to style it. In this case, it's giving us color-coded by name. So you can see all the red counties are Washington counties throughout the country. That's not particularly useful for us, so we're going to choose a different attribute to show. In this case, you're going to want to use precip. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use Tmax, which is the maximum recorded temperature in January of 2015. And here you can see it's already set up a color scheme for us. It's given us a legend here, things like that. If I wanted to, I could change that color scheme. So if I click on options here, I can choose classification scheme. I can choose how this is split up. So it's divided by themes, so it'll give you these different ways of doing diverging or low to high color scheme, things like that. I can click on symbols here and choose a different color scheme. So let's say instead of blue, I want something like this. That's a little more water themed. Something, if you're looking at precip, I'm looking at temperature, so maybe something that looks more like this is more appropriate. So here you've got cold and here you've got warm. Whatever it is that you want to do. And then you can actually adjust your classification here. You've actually got a histogram here, which is helpful to help you see what the data look like. You can classify the data if you want into classes. We talk about classification in class. So let's just do a natural breaks classification in that case. Okay, so let's say we like how that looks. We'll go ahead and click OK. And we've got that set up. So that gets you into loading the data. Later on, you'll have to edit the pop-ups. You'll do that here by clicking on this 3 dots and go to configure pop-ups, but I'm going to let you figure that out on yourself, by yourself. So hopefully this is useful. Thanks.